What If? Episode 3 is now available for you all to go and watch on Disney+. This episode is all about our heroes, the Avengers. The original cast, of course, the original Avengers. This is all before the first Avengers movie. But the twist is, what if our Avengers never made that particular movie? What happens if they all died in the process, trying to get recruited, and they all ended up dead? What would happen? Who would do that thing? What is the consequences? That's what we're going to discuss. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe as well. And without further ado, let's jump into this review. Okay, so if you guys have been keeping up and watching my channel, you would know that episode 1 I'm not a big fan of because it's just Peggy as Captain America in the first Avenger, which I thought was very safe to play that route. You could have gone afterwards and it could have been something a lot better, and then they did enhance her to abilities that didn't make any sense because we never seen Cap do any of that. We never seen Bucky or John ever do that. We never see Carly or anyone else do what she can do, and they all have the same super soldier serum, so it never made sense to me when she was able to do those things. So, and it was a pretty of a episode. Episode 2, there's a lot of things wrong with it, a lot of things, breaking characters and just a lot of it. This one, however, I gotta say, this one's the best one out of the bunch for me. I thought this one was a lot better than the previous two. I don't have too many problems with it. I still think it's just missing something though. I think there's just something, I don't know, it's like, it's just missing something that's grabbing me and making me fully invested and enjoy the show much more than I think I would like to be right now. I just want them to just, I don't know, it's missing a spark. This episode, I think, what could have made this episode a lot better is I think they told the wrong story with this episode. Like, okay, I get it. You want to tell the story about the Avengers not making their first Avengers movie, which I think is a cool idea. What would happen if the Avengers weren't there? What would then happen? But I think instead of showing us this whole, like, what is it, 35 minute, 40 minute long episode of how the Avengers all die at the hands of this mystery person, I think you could have gone over that for like the first 10 minutes and then had the next part all about when Loki arrives and the Avengers aren't there to stop him, and then what happens? Does he call Captain Marvel? Does anyone else come forth? Black Panther and that, do they all come forth to fight Loki? There's something there in that story that I think would have been a lot better and more compelling and more had that spark. I think that would have got a lot more people interested in it, where I think this story, well, it was still fun and entertaining to a degree, but it just didn't really, I don't know, it just didn't have that in it. And there's parts where I was just kind of like, oh, okay, makes sense. Now, as for the big secret villain who is killing all our heroes, I didn't really get it. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. It just made no sense to me because I'm pretty sure Hope never worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., but apparently Hope did. And she died as well, and now Hank is out to kill all the Avengers because she died as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent helping S.H.I.E.L.D., and now he wants to get revenge on Nick Fury and S.H.I.E.L.D., so he goes out and kills the innocent Avengers. Now, that motive doesn't, I don't understand that. Why, like, if you're gonna get at Nick Fury, why would you kill the Avengers? That makes no sense. If you want to hurt Nick Fury, why don't you do something that's a little bit more close to his heart and actually kill people that he cares about? Because this is when he's first recruiting them. He hasn't even interacted with them or anything like that. Like, Cap's still in the ice. Thor is just coming down. What else? We've got, what's his name? Hulk is doing the Hulk thing from the Incredible Hulk. Tony's doing what Iron Man does. And I just think there was no connection there between Nick Fury and these heroes to make me warrant and think that Hank would do that and attack the Avengers rather than attack Agent Coulson, who Nick Fury is really close with, attack Black Widow, who he's really close with, and Clint Barton. Like, I think they're the ones that you should mainly target, not like attacking Thor and stuff like that. It just made no sense. I didn't get that motive, his motive or anything like that, and it was just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. It was, yeah, I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, well, okay, I guess. But what I did like is, I thought for a minute they were going to really hurt Loki as a character, but the way they did Loki makes sense. It makes sense to why they did what Loki did, because Loki's all about himself, and ultimately he got what he wanted. He wants to rule Earth, so he makes a deal with obviously with Nick Fury to capture Hank Pym. Because when that last fight was going on with Hank Pym and Nick Fury, when he first slaps Hank down, I was sitting there and I was like, wait a second, that's impossible, because last time I checked, a human can't slap Ant-Man or Wasp or anyone like that when they're really little. They just come in and they knock them out rather than like them hitting them. So I was like, that's really weird. And then like the mirroring and like disappearing and started to happen. And I was like, now it makes sense. It's Loki, because of course Loki would be able to do that because he's a freaking god. So that makes sense. But Loki obviously made a deal with Nick Fury to help him capture this person, because he was going to kill everyone and take over the planet anyway, because someone killed Thor and he wanted to get revenge in that, so he brought all Asgard down with him. But now, obviously, he comes out and he makes a deal with him, and now at the end of the episode he is ruling Asgard. Obviously, Nick Fury finds Cap in the ice, and Captain Marvel's there as well, which I thought would be a much more cooler story to follow. He's Captain America, Captain Marvel, and that when they just come back, they form a new Avengers to fight Loki and Asgard. That would have been cooler to see. I personally I think that would have been cooler to see. But it was a unique way to kill the heroes in that. I guess Thor is technically a mortal when he gets shot down in the first Thor, so I guess that would make sense that he would die by an arrow to the heart. Because if he wasn't a god, if he wasn't mortal or anything like that, I guess that would just bounce off him realistically. But clearly, he got his power stripped and then he got shut down to Earth as a mortal. So that makes sense. The Hulk one was a unique one. Expanding his heart. That was kind of pretty wacky. I don't know if that would work though, but hey. Apparently it did, but yeah. But overall, it's a lot better than the last two. I didn't mind it. It still hasn't grasped me and got me into it and made me invested in the what if. I just think they are at the moment telling the wrong stories. I think that's my biggest issue with it at the moment, is the storytelling. They're just not picking the right stories. They're picking these other stories, and when they do pick the right story, they just focus on the wrong part of the story. Like, I think majority of us would want to see Loki take over Earth. The Avengers never made it to the Avengers movie. They all died beforehand, and then Loki takes over, and then what happens? Does Spider-Man come in? Does Black Widow come in? Does well, obviously Doctor Strange can't do it because he's not a sorcerer there, but like, do those two come in? Then do what's his name, like Ant-Man come in? Like, do all these other characters come in, and do they fight the Asgardians and Loki then? And then what happens with Thanos? Does Thanos come in? Like they're the stories I think we want to know. Is we want to see them interact, and that, I think that would be a lot better. But that's just my personal opinion. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down in the comments below. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.